What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Survivor Triple Threat Podcast. I'm your host, Ethan.
And I'm your other host, Quentin.
And in today's video, we are back with another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast as we go over episode 5 of Survivor 50. Before we begin, if you would like to subscribe, that would help our channel, and you'd be able to up to date for any posts we do or whatever we do on the channel, as we may post other videos or even go live if YouTube will grant us access. Alright, and without further ado, Quentin, do you have anything else to add before we get into it?
Nope, I think that's it. I think we're ready to go.
Alright, let's get into it. So, the episode begins with Ozzy throwing a temper tantrum over the fact that they decided to get rid of Mike White. He's just shouting, or he's not really shouting, but he's kind of like, he's very angry and realizes that, he's kind of upset and he doesn't understand really why they voted out Mike without letting him know. Christian goes over and tries to tell him, and it just, Ozzy's upset.
They also he didn't really look like he was like screaming or anything that he was mad and stuff like that, but you could tell by the way he was like acting so like he was upset. And Christian knew too and so like he's like, oh my god, this is like back in Aussie's old seasons whenever he got backstabbed by one of his teammates.
Which I really like the flashbacks they've been doing lately. Like it flashbacked and shown when Cochran betrayed. He didn't betray him, but he betrayed the alliance they had. And Ozzy's reaction was, the same way Christian kind of talked about how he's very similar to Cochran in a certain way. Which
Yeah.
maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Cochran won, of course, in his second season. So I wondered if that was maybe a hint that Christian wins. Probably not. I mean, okay, definitely not. That's reading way too much into it.
No,
I mean,
that's just
that's insane. That's like game theory level of crossing over.
but again, his reaction to all this is really understandable because I think I would have been a little upset too.
Oh
But
yeah, 100%.
my one of my numbers had been followed off and nobody ever told me about it. Which they was right not to tell him because as obviously said, he was like, "Oh yeah, 100%, I would blow it up in their face so get."
Yeah. And then it cuts to Ozzy meditating in the beach and saying how he wants to go back to the old Ozzy or he doesn't want to go back to the old Ozzy and he doesn't want to be a hothead this time because he knows that was one of the reasons why he has lost like 5 times in the past, which I think was really cool. That he's reflecting about how he, but he's an older guy now and everything like that. So I'm kind of glad that he's reflecting, and I thought it was a good moment, a good look for him.
Yeah. Then you have him going to Christian over here like, "Yeah, we're
Yeah,
cool and so again."
yeah, and like
But then,
apologizing, which I thought was really cool.
actually he's over here like, "Oh, I'll make sure he's gonna get voted off."
Like, this guy's next.
Yeah. But again, understandable.
Absolutely. So then over at Callow, Quentin, we have the brand new threesome of Coach, Colby, and Joe. And go ahead and talk about some of the names that has been given out.
Okay, so for anybody that knows Coach, like you even for example, like watch his season so get while he likes his nicknames so get. And some of the nicknames he gives out is Joe as the Stone Bell Monk, and then he gives Kobe the nickname Oakbound Warrior, which usually doesn't match with the nicknames he's been given out in the past. But he said he wanted to change or get out those old time wizard like names to so get.
Which is ironic because I think they go with the Dragon Slayer pretty good. I think they're pretty silly. He didn't do that good of a job at diverting from expectations. I was kind of surprised how cool Joe and Colby didn't even question how weird it was. They just went along with this, and I love it.
No, you saw Joe's face though. He was like, "Oh,
He loved it.
Which I think it's cool how Coach and Joe's literally like number ones now. So like you can hear Coach say like, "Yes, it's my number one now. This is my
Flashback
man
to
right here."
episode 0. Flashback to episode 0. Whenever we both said who we wanted to win, you said Joe, I said Coach, and now they're working together.
Yes, that is fantastic. I really hope they make it ready for her in the season.
Coach, Joe, and Colby's the triple threat trio. So we're not biased. No, we're extremely biased.
Yeah, we're extremely
We're
biased.
extremely biased. That whole time, we'll get to the media chat in a second, but the whole time, I was like, let's go Cyan. And my mom, which I normally watch it with my mom. She said, why are you rooting for science so bad? I'm like, look at that tribe. Like, the triple threat trios on that tribe. But yeah, I love it. And I love just watching Colby and Coach play together is so fun to watch.
Yep. That really made my day right there when that happened. I was like, oh wow, this is so great.
Yeah. And Coach talking about Coach 4.0, it's so cool. So anyways, and then after that, at Sela Tribe, at not dude, let's talk about it real quick.
Okay, so basically,
Let's address the Charlie situation. Him
okay.
and Rizzo need to
So-
chill.
Yeah, they needed this. They have so much beef with each other now.
It's insane.
What
So,
sadly happened during the beach?
so Charlie does the dumbest thing, and he tells Rizzo that Jonathan, that he's been catching on to basically the Alliance thing, and Rizzo, he says, I'm not that dumb. I know he's lying, and I think Charlie needs to get it. That's what Rizzo says, by the way. I know I kind of fumbled the name there. And this whole episode, if this episode could be described in a picture, it would be the butt fumble. What happened? What's going on with Charlie? What's he thinking here?
First off, I like Charlie as a player and stuff like it, but again, like you said, he did the most dumbest thing he could have
Justice for
done.
Charlie on the season. Charlie, by the way, and I'll let him talk about this. I just want to say this about Charlie before we call him stupid for the next 20 minutes. Charlie should have won his season without a doubt. It is
Oh, yes,
probably one of the
100%.
biggest scams in Survivor history that he didn't win his season. I just wanted to point that out, that we both really do like Charlie. Before we crap talk him for the next 20 minutes. Go ahead, Quentin.
Part of why they brought him on fire on his season than the winner, actually. I thought that was pretty cool when they did that. Because usually they bring their winners on the
Yeah.
podcast, said second place or runner up.
I remember when he lost, I was like, are you kidding me? Which I like Kinsey
Yeah.
too, but I mean, anyways, sorry. I just had to say that.
Anyway, so whenever he tells Rizzo that, like, oh, yeah, Jonathan knows about the idol and stuff like that, yeah, I kind of had to tell him because he was catching on and stuff like that. I was like, Charlie, no, why would you do this? He is not that type of player. No, I'm not talking about Charlie, by the way, I'm talking about that Jonathan. He is not that type of player that's going to catch on to stuff like that. He is mostly worried about, like, the physical game, not worried about, like, okay,
Charlie's
that
self-reported.
person there. Yeah,
He's
basically.
self-reported. It's just insane. I'm so confused. And
That's all I got. That's all I gotta say about it. Is that's one of the Charlie's dumbest things. The only thing I can say that he did dumb was that right there.
And if you guys think Charlie is, if you guys think, okay, Charlie's a smart player, he will correct this later on. He doesn't correct anything. He keeps on just digging it deep. So anyways, and then I think we're not ready to talk about the immunity challenge. Am I correct?
Yes,
So-
you're correct.
All right. So, guys, get ready. It's double eviction. 2 people get eliminated. All right. Immunity challenge, though.
Okay, so in the immunity challenge, so yeah, this is very interesting. They're gonna pick 2 people from their team and so they go on this platform. They're gonna dive into the water on it, only to go onto a other platform that has these 2 block staircases, big ones too, to dive in the water again, swim till they're at this ladder and so then they gotta go up to the ladder, get 2 packs each from bringing it to the beach and so then bags, not packs. Then they had to swim all the way back to the beach. Then they had this big sand pit and so they gotta dig for it. By the way, same people, by the way. They gotta dig for it and make a big enough space for them and their future teammates come for and so Then they have to. Then someone else from their team has to come, empty all the bags so and get the keys out there and so there's about 4 or 5 in there. Then someone else comes and unlocks a box that has the hook rope on it that they had to use to hook the sandbags. They had to use to throw on the post, which is about 4 bags, I believe, on that pole they had to throw up.
What? And I may be wrong here, by the way. I thought they said 4, and then they proceeded to throw 5. So I thought I caught that in the episode actually. So I don't know if I'm just like crazy and misheard, which it may have happened.
Mm.
But I could have sworn when Jeff explained it, it was 4, and then they ended up throwing 5. Because I was sitting there with my hands up, I'm like, oh my god, blank team won because they got the 4 first. And then he's like, they need one more. And I'm like, what? What do you mean they need one more?
Okay. They said 5, but I see where you see that from because I'm pretty sure because it's one of my other favorite challenges too, and so what they do. But
That may have been why,
pretty
because
sure
I've never known them to do 5. But I swear, maybe
yeah,
it's
they
just
used to
because
do
they do it so many times in the past with 4. But I swear, I thought it was 4.
anyway, it's like I said, the first and only team to make it all 5 backs of that pole wins. And who is the teams that end up losing and the team that win?
Before we go with the teams that lose, I just want to not give a shout out, but just quickly mention how good certain people were at this competition. Coach immediately hit the grapple and grappled it back to him, which I thought was incredible. In one throw, and I know there was someone else, I forgot who it was, maybe Stephanie, with the hook that kind of drug it on the first try, but Coach immediately threw the hook out, drug it back instantly. And then you had Tiff with the rope
Yeah,
thing.
that was crazy.
That was insane. I don't even know how, like, she did. That's insane. Which I thought was so
Even
cool. Even Jeff was like
Jeff said
tweaking. Yeah, he was like
F4.
Like it was hilarious. But anyways, at the end of the day, the Cyan team won. They got the victory, which I was super excited about. And then it was off to Tribal Council, which by the way, Emily, Christian, and Ozzy has now been to every Tribal Council. Just weird fun fact.
Do we know anybody that hasn't been to tribal council yet? Like a few names.
There's a lot. Well, I know one, for example, is Coach, but there's a couple more. I just know for a fact he because I've been keeping track of it. There's actually, hold on, if you want to go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that was going on the beach, I can tell you exactly who it is because I can just do that real quick.
Okay.
If you want to go over what was going on the beaches.
Yes. So whenever while Ethan's finding that, so let me tell you what happens with Christian and Aussie. So Christian wants to give Aussie like his trust back, and so they're like, okay, I feel like Aussie's going to try to throw me off, so I gotta get a way to get him to trust me. So he decides to give him his shot in the dark, which again we see this in past seasons, so again, which it usually backfires on the other person that's given the shot in the dark. So again, and when I first saw that, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. I think Christian might be screwed here.
I'm back from the explanation. So just doing the simple thing to determine who has been on by what I'm looking at here, which isn't like ChatGPT. This is just me off the hook looking at it, thinking. Coach, Chrissy, and Tiff are the only 3 that haven't been to Tribal Council, I think. And the reason for that is I think the Kylo tribe and the Vatu tribe never went to Tribal Council. And since then, I'm sorry, Aubrey's in that group too. And since then, Rizzo, Q, Kobe, Genevieve, and Angelina has went to Tribal, and Stephanie has went to Tribal Council, meaning Aubrey, Coach, Chrissy, and Tiff, I believe, are the only 4 that have never been to Tribal Councils too. Anyways, yeah, we'll just it took me too long to do it. It kind of seems out of place, but anyways, yeah. If anyone cared, that's probably not even. Anyways, okay. All right, and then you just described what went on at the Charlie and Rizzo beach.
No, I just got to explain what happened in the Christian and Aussie beach.
Okay, I'll cover the Charlie Rizzo beach. So here's what's up with the Charlie Rizzo beach. They still hate each other. Well, actually, Rizzo don't hate Charlie. Charlie dislikes Rizzo, right? Because of, like we said last time, because Rizzo went and said that he didn't vote for his best friend at the end. Which, if you didn't see last episode, or see Survivor 49, the thing that is so hilarious about that is Rizzo and Savannah were actually together the whole time. But he didn't ever explain that. Because he doesn't want to explain that he was friends with the winner. So, he then said that him and Savannah weren't close, and that him and Soph was really close. Which they were. You know, I'm not saying it's not even lying. But it's different from saying, like, oh yeah, Quentin was at the end, but I didn't vote for win. I voted for Jimmy to win. Well, who's Jimmy? Oh, I didn't like him. I don't even know who he is. That's very different from saying, for example, we got another friend named Landon. It's like, for example, like, oh yeah, me and Quentin were number ones, but I ended up voting for Landon to win. Okay, well, yeah, me and Landon were extremely close as well. You know what I mean? You get does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. I know where you're in that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so like that, it's kind of like, listen, buddy, like you need to maybe explain yourself better because it is really the reason Charlie is going after him. So anyways, with the
Well,
vote split, oh, what is it?
I want to fight back what you said about Rizzo hating Charlie. He doesn't hate him. I can agree
No,
with that, but
I
he's
said
still
that.
yeah, but he does dislike him until get definitely when he tried to lie to him until get,
No,
and
Rizzo does
that's the
not like.
reason.
No, Rizzo does not dislike Charlie. Rizzo just knows that Charlie's coming after him. No, Charlie dislikes Rizzo, but Rizzo does not dislike Charlie. He may in the game be going against him, but there's never been anything where it's like dislike. Which, by the way, get into that in a second though. Rizzo. But first of all, let me go over the voting split here. So you have D and Rizzo. I've kind of formed a little thing. He's got to keep on telling her information, which I thought's crazy, by the way. I don't know about you. But I'm like, he is trusting her way too quickly. But I guess he needs somebody. Which I thought it was funny when he said to her that he's like a what did he say? He didn't say he was a feminist, but what did he say? He said something like, I only like working with girls, or how did he say it? He said
I don't
something
like,
like
I
that.
don't
I
like
was
that.
like, what?
No, I, if you remember his season, he did have that alliance with all the girls
No,
until again
I
his
remember it,
show.
but I was like, what? That's such a random thing
I
to
don't
like.
know what he
Why
said.
would you bring it up like that? But anyways, yeah. So he said that to her. So he had Savannah on his side. So it was Rizzo, Savannah, and then of course Suri. Rizzo and Suri has gotten to a little friendship here. And on the other side, you have Charlie, Jonathan, and Rick Devens with Camilla in the middle, coincidentally. And Camilla's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll have to see whenever time goes around. So that was kind of the whole entire thing. Though we kind of knew Camilla would cast the vote. She's like going back and forth, like, I know what I'm going to do, but of course they wouldn't let us know what she was going to do. And then Rizzo, because he's a genius, if you guys didn't know, decides to go around saying like, yeah, I mean, I got back. I mean, they were so impressed with how I did in Survivor 49, they immediately voted me out to Survivor 50. And I'm like, oh, brother, chill. And he just hyped himself up the whole entire. Like, the episode was what? How long did each Survivor episode? 90 minutes long? He was hyping himself up for 30 minutes of it. Like, it was insane. Like, he was just the whole time, he was like, man, like, I was so good. Like, oh, they didn't bring me back for nothing. It's like, well, I made it to fourth place. I almost won. Which, is, I mean, again, it's true. You know, he wasn't lying. He wasn't making stuff up. But why would you go and say that? And then he started saying, oh, there was a lot of blindsides in my season. I'm like, dude, no one's watched Survivor 49. What in the world? No one's watched Survivor 49. Savannah, the only person on the season, is gone. Why in the world are you being so honest? Stop it. Lie. Like, come on. And then he goes up, and what was it you mentioned it a minute ago? Well, how did he say it? The lie that he lied about to Charlie. Or Camilla.
Um, you gotta be more specific. There was a lot of things.
No, you mentioned it a minute ago when he was like on the hammock was Camilla, and he was saying something, and she's like, I don't believe him. Like, I think he's lying. I forgot exactly what he said. But he basically, I don't think he actually lied. I think he was actually telling her the truth, actually. But she's like, I can't trust him. So that was what was leading up to that tribal council. So then we go into their tribal council, and they're just talking. And then the whole time at tribal council, Rizzo is just like, I literally imagined him. If y'all want to close your eyes and imagine this, Rizzo is just like looking at his chances of surviving, and he's just like he's just shooting himself in the foot with like a minigun. Like he's like shot 100 rounds into his foot. It's insane. Like he just keeps on every time Jeff talks. Rizzo just says a reason why they should vote him out. And then they proceed to go to the vote, and I thought the vote was made really dramatic for this one specifically. I thought the music was just dramatic, the showing of everybody's reactions. Like, I genuinely did not know who was going out. And then, with a vote of 4-3. Oh, also, I really liked Rizzo's vote out confession, what he said about Charlie, like the Taylor Swift references, whatever he's about. I thought that was
Yeah,
kind of cool.
I was like, yeah, me and you, Charlie, we have bad blood now.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. And then with a vote of 4-3, Charlie has been evicted from Survivor. And that's for all the people who wanted Rizzo out, because apparently like half the population hates Rizzo.
Yeah.
That Charlie's
Charlie
voted out,
Luna.
which I was really sad. I thought Charlie was good, but Charlie, man, he didn't have a shot this season.
Yeah, he was kind of messing up the season now and stuff like that. Definitely ever since he started talking to Rizzo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like on site, them two just hate each other. Which I understand,
No
that,
offense, Charlie. No offense, Charlie, but I think ever since he started talking to Rizzo, he lost a few brain cells while talking to him.
he lost the point. He lost. I think he forgot he was playing Survivor. He just like it's like he's seeing red. You know, he just wants him out.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then Charlie leaves and it's all sad, and some people had very shocked reactions to it. So
I mean, yeah, no one's expecting Charlie to get out like that, but
okay, down in the comments for people watching the video, were you guys shocked that it was Charlie and not Rizzo? Because I wasn't. I thought it was Charlie. I thought it was going to be a surprise that it would end up being Rizzo. I honestly thought it was Charlie the whole time. Did you think it was Charlie or Rizzo?
I think I 100% knew it was going to be Charlie.
That's
even
what,
though
that's what you said. That's what you said. We actually called each other once it was over. We were actually doing another thing, and yeah, we were talking about it. And like, yeah, I mean, I thought it was very obvious Charlie, but everyone online was like, "Oh, can you believe that?" And our friend Landon, I mean, I honestly thought we were going to have to revive him because I've never seen him that shocked in my life whenever they revealed that. I mean, that Charlie was going out. And have the 5 people who's been to every tribal council now. They're all tired of this crap, and I can't blame them. And the whole debate here is, we talked about earlier about how Christian gave Ozzy his shot in the dark, and Ozzy's like, well, I won't vote you out now. So they go to the thing. You got Christian, Emily, Ozzy, Angelina, and Stephanie. Everyone pretty much knew that it was going to be... Well, the votes kind of... Everyone was like, oh, Angelina's weak, or Ozzy's crazy, or Christian's kind of a backstabber. Jeff does a couple impressions, which I thought was hilarious. I thought his Kobe one was spot on. And then, it's really plain. There's not much any detail to it. With a vote of 4-1, Angelina was voted out. There's really not much detail to it, to be honest with you. There's just not that much strategy. They all just kind of like, okay, she's the weakest. Christian and Ozzy kind of made that deal. Emily wasn't wanting to vote out Christian or Ozzy. Stephanie is kind of playing the backseat game. Which I thought was amazing. I don't know if you caught on to this. Have you watched David vs. Goliath?
Pretty sure I have, yes.
Whenever Angelina got voted out, she got out a jacket to give to the rest of them in reference to the issue she had with the jacket with Natalie. I don't know if anyone here remember that. I thought that was amazing. And then so Angelina's voted out, and then everyone go back to camp, and that's actually how the episode ends. Well, that's not how the episode ends. The episode ends after Charlie's evicted, but we did this in the opposite order because we talked about it in the order that made sense. Because there really wasn't that much to that tribal council. I definitely think I was glad that this episode was a double because they need to cut down the people. Which, by the way, as everyone's seen at the end, let us know if you don't want to hear what happened in the next episode, in the next time on Survivor thing. But I did chat GBT, and it is a part of the official episode. Even if you watch it on Hulu later, it shows this at the end, so it's included in the episode. So we will go over it. But if you guys don't want to, let us know. We'll quit it. But anyway, so yeah, this is the next time on Survivor. They're merging, so that's gonna be really exciting to see go. However, that's kind of the end of the podcast episode. Quentin, do you want to add anything else before I do this little wrap up portion?
I think that's all we need to talk about the episode.
Okay, so we got this here. So real quick though, before we end up the episode, let me go over. Let me talk about the future of the Triple Threat Survivor podcast. Which I don't know about Quentin, but me and him kind of do this anyway. Okay, we don't do it in this style. Like, we don't talk about it as the outline, but we normally do talk because we're both, we're friends in real life, and we both like Survivor, so we're going to talk about Survivor anyways. First of all, the next Triple Threat episode, which will be next Friday, will be a Quentin-only episode again, because I have a trip to go on, so I will not be on the episode, or even watching the episode. So it's going to be really interesting. So Quentin is going to handle that episode again next week. However, whenever I get back in the States, and we'll get back together next week after next, we're going to be trying something a little bit different if timing is allowed. And I'd like to know people's opinions down below, because I do know there's a couple people that has watched every episode, because I can just tell with the viewer count that it's the same couple people. So please let us know. And I'm going to put this on TikTok as well, on the Triple Threat Podcast TikTok. So if you guys follow us on TikTok, please go over there and enter this as well. we're thinking about going live after, instead of doing the podcast episodes like this, which Quentin said that you were going to still like edit that and post that.
Yeah. I'll still post it on YouTube for those people that cannot make it to the live.
Okay, yeah. So Quentin is still going to like edit it up and post like the VOD kind of in like the style. But I thought about doing it in a. We talked about doing it in a new style, more about posting it. Going live Wednesday night, talking with fans over what they thought about, and instead of doing it in the outline style, do it more in just the discussion style. Right, like talking over and then joining getting some fans' opinions as well, and doing it like that. So please let us know what you think, as we're going to try to do that. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps everything up. Follow us on TikTok. I don't know what we would be going live on. Quentin said he found a way for us to do it on YouTube and TikTok, which I know TikTok we've got to have a certain amount of followers first, so probably on YouTube to begin with. But hey, we'll see. So I think that's it.
Well, we all hope you enjoyed this video, and like I said, make sure you leave a like, that way we can keep doing this. Bye bye.
Alright, thank you guys. See you next time.